Hello and welcome back to another 3 a.m. production video. This week, on top of drawing, I have figured out a way to play with some of my action figures, so let's get to it. Lightning Strike Batman uses his gliding cape to strike terror into the villains of Gotham City. But wait, there's two of them? Back in the day of Yester Toys, Lightning Strike Batman was one of the many different costumed Batman figures that you could get on the shelves of toy stores everywhere. Companies would not make as many of the villains to fight Batman as many as the Batmans themselves. They would often take the molds and just paint them in different costumes and gear and then have different accessories attached into the box. This one in particular, obviously the cape can fold out and turn into a glider. In the commercial for this toy, they had him jump off a roof and unfurl his glider to face Clayface. And immediately gets shot out of the sky, falls into a bush, and comes out as another one of these figures in separate gear in order to then find a way to change back into that costume into a back gliding vehicle to then take out Clayface and push him into some water. I swear they're going for the analogy here that he makes more costume changes than Barbie. But I digress. McFarlane Toys has been more recently doing a build-a-line figure where you build one character for every 4 characters you collect. In this series, you build Maxie Zeus. So far the series have had one Batman in each of the series, the first one being classic, original, genuine article. Second one being Blind Batman. Now we have Lightning Strike Batman. And although his accessory is not a gliding cape, he does have an electrical charge cannon. Toy companies have sometimes had heavy influence on the way that a show can be dictated, especially in animation, because a lot of the money comes from merchandising. For example, Spider-Man the Animated Series, they had to write in the Hobgoblin just because they had already made the toys. But getting back to the world of Batman, Batman the Animated Series didn't really see him go through costume changes. He would definitely have gear and gadgets that would change throughout those episodes on an as-needed basis, but not really change suits. Nowadays, it's kind of common occurrence that maybe he would have a suit that would go with specific villains, like an environment suit for Mr. Freeze, or Firefly, or a wetsuit for Killer Croc. But in the animated series, he just sticked with his wits and gadgets. But if we were to use our imagination with this toy and reconcile the idea that maybe, just maybe, that the animated series did have suit changes, and this was a rubberized insulation suit from lightning strikes, who would he go up against? Maxie Zeus. Now, Maxie Zeus is a very interesting character in the comics because he started off as a history professor of Greek mythology. He's been known to have a lot of childhood trauma that stemmed a lot of mental health conditions that through the course in the comics would lead to him going insane and a little bipolar. His obsession with Greek mythology really doesn't know any bounds. Like, his capers involve stealing a golden fabric from Wayne Industries to gift to his daughter. He creates a drug that he considers the nectar of the gods. And although this man dresses in a toga, don't take him strictly as a joke. He is very dangerous. Although he is not really Zeus, he has manufactured ways for him to be as close to the real Zeus as possible, creating all sorts of technology and weapons that shoot lightning. In the animated series, in the episode Fire on Olympus, we get introduced to him as a shipping magnate who came on some hard times, so he tries to get into the smuggling business and does pretty well at it. We know that at some point in the history of this character, he had a relationship with his assistant, and they were in love. They used to take trips, and on one of these trips, he had an accident, which caused some head trauma. His obsession of Greek mythology came to the forefront, and he started creating a persona. The power kind of goes to his head, and he starts walking around in a toga and having disassociative tendencies where he's either Maxie Zeus or he's Zeus. His lackeys, his henchmen, his underlings, although they think he's kind of nuts, the genius of the plan of them making a whole lot of money just kind of lets them tolerate it. In this episode, they end up stealing a discharge cannon, and a whistleblower tries to tell Commissioner Gordon. Well, he ends up getting struck by lightning on a non-cloudy night, and Gordon's suspicious, so he calls in his friend the Batman. Batman tracks down some leads, and he ends up going to the Olympus building, where Zeus mistakes him for his brother Hades. Batman then leaves after making Zeus angry, and he goes to Zeus's assistant's apartment to ask for her help in order to find a way to stop him before he hurts himself or someone else. And she's kind of over his shenanigans, so she goes along with it, so she sneaks Batman into the Olympus building, and Batman makes his way through the building only to find Greek mythological traps and fighting snakes and running with a wild boar. He eventually gets knocked out of a window, in which Zeus believes him to be dead, and at this point he's kind of gone off the rails to the point of shooting a police blimp with his discharge cannon. Now his men are very scared at his antics. He ties his former girlfriend and his assistant to the cannon and about to shoot it again at Gotham City when Batman comes in to save the day. At the end of the episode, he ends up being admitted to Arkham Asylum, where he thinks that he has been mistaken this entire time and that the Olympus that he constructed couldn't have been the real Olympus. Because now he's being wheeled through Arkham and he's seeing Demeter and Janus, Hermes. Or as you actually look on the screen, you see Poison Ivy, Two-Face, and the Joker. In the Arkham games, he can be a cameo appearance in solving the Riddler's riddles. In Arkham Asylum, you can find his cell next to the... In the Arkham games, he's the answer to some of Riddler's riddles. In the first game, Arkham Asylum, you can find his cell with scribblings and etchings into the walls. Different Olympic symbols, as well as Olympus and his name, all big and bold. The cell is located next to the electroshock therapy, which isn't only just a pun, but it's also a nod back to Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on a Serious Earth graphic novel, where you find that he is the victim of the doctors at Arkham trying to use electric shock therapy on him to cure him of his delusions. In Arkham City, you can find a building with Olympus, all big and neon. It's a club that has been suspected of underground criminal activity for quite some time, that is run by Maxie Zeus, which is a little closer to some of the newer continuity in comics, where he runs a legitimate business to cover up his criminal activities. But despite his delusions of grandeur being Zeus reborn on the mortal plane, the moral of this story is when you meet a strange man in a toga, maybe not as harmless as you think.
There's a cynical edge to your voice I don't appreciate. Know you not, I am above mortal constraints of right and wrong?
But anyway, I guess lightning can strike twice. Thank you for watching. If you follow along with the drawing part of this video, post in the comments below. I'd love to see it. If for whatever reason the link didn't work, I'm still kind of new and figuring all this out, so I'd really like the trial and error of you guys testing it out for me. If it doesn't work, let me know. I'll try something different next time. Anyway, see you next time.